I'm Eric Knowles, president of the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce, and here we are at another member connection. But before we get started today, here's a word from one of our supporters, one of our sponsors.
This is garbage, and you probably think all of it just goes to waste. But in Miami-Dade, we convert most of what you throw away into energy. In our waste-to-energy facility, we can turn about 90% of your everyday garbage into reusable fuel.
Levels look good.
That creates clean electricity for our community. Enough energy to power 35,000 homes. Pretty illuminating, huh? In Miami-Dade, nothing goes to waste.
So we're back in this beautiful studio here at Miami-Dade North Campus, and I'm here with my good friend, Mr. Mike Fernandez, who is the Director of Miami-Dade County Solid Waste Department, and they're a proud sponsor of this month's Member Connection. Mike, how are you?
Good. How you doing today?
Hey, man, I'm great. You know, we were talking earlier before we got started today, and both of us we started right here.
Right here, hometown.
Yeah, Miami-Dade.
Miami-Dade.
Miami-Dade North Campus. It's been home to so many of us here in South Florida. So, Miami-Dade itself, the college has played a major role in the lives of so many of us, as I said. And again, this is where you started.
Yep, and it's great. I mean, great school. We all, we've grown up here and learned from this institution, as well as Florida International University. Right,
exactly. Because I started at Miami-Dade, and actually after I got out of the military, I proudly talk about my military experience from the perspective of I went in when I was 17 and I got out when I was 20. And I came here to the North Campus and then matriculated over to the FIU campus down south. And when I went to FIU, they actually, when I graduated in 82, they were just starting to build dorms. There were no dorms there. So here we are. Here, fast forward, 82 to 2022.
Wow. Yeah. We're here. Yeah. Things have changed.
Yeah,
right?
Things definitely have changed. But you have been in the waste business. I mean, that's pretty much been your career. I'm sure you've done some other things, but you've basically mastered that. And here you are as the director of Miami-Dade County's Solid Waste Department, and probably one of the most important departments that we have in the county. I mean, we have major departments, obviously the seaport, the airport, but
yeah, one that's taken for granted, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah,
it's like I like to call ourselves the unsung heroes, basically, because it's one of the few services the county provides that we still have to go touch every single home twice a week. We service 350,000 homes, so that's twice a week we got to service. You know how many touches we have to touch in the year? That's millions of touches that we have to go out there. And it's real simple that you just take your can out first thing in the morning. You get back at the end of the day, it's empty.
Right.
It's like magic, right? It just disappears. No one knows really or understands the logistics behind the scenes that happen to get that garbage to the appropriate location.
Right. And you talk about the appropriate location, but before we get there, and I was saying the appropriate location, I think about Mount Trashmore, landfills.
Yeah.
But before we get to the landfills, obviously there is a lot of manpower that it takes to, as you said, you do this twice a week to 350,000 homes. A lot of the service, growing up, we saw, here comes the garbage man, here comes the trash man, the guys on the back of the trucks doing the work. And that still happens in some areas.
Yep.
But it's been automated. You have the trucks that come down the street, the arm comes out, picks up the trash. But what is a process in the life of a day of someone who is actually running the system, and even back, because you're bringing it back somewhere, and it's not all going to the landfill. It's going other places. So talk about the intricacies of moving trash.
Sure. So things have changed. I started in the business 25 years ago, so it has evolved over time. And these new automation trucks are really a great invention that came to the waste industry. One, the driver no longer has to get off the truck. Two, you lower your worker comp cases, your injuries. A lot of times are be on the back of the truck. I mean, you go pick up a bag, it may have glass or syringes or something, and you get poked. Not real fun stuff.
Wow.
As well as back injuries. Sometimes they'll put, you have heavy stuff and hurt your back, or slip and fall cases. But typical day in a garbage man's life, or garbage woman's life as well, because we have plenty of women that are in the business too, and I think they drive better than the men, to be honest with you. But you gotta check your truck first thing in the morning. They start first thing in the morning, about 7 o'clock in the morning. Come into the yard. You make sure you do what we call a pre-trip inspection of the truck. Make sure everything's safe. Belts are good. Liquids are good. Oil, fluids, tires. Everything's checked out. So then we head out. Everybody has like their area. We call it a route. So everybody has their area that they go and service. So maybe it's like a perimeter, maybe from this avenue to this avenue, from this street to this street. So you handle that section, and typically a section can involve maybe over 1,000 homes that they pick up.
Wow.
That 1,000 homes probably equate to about two times that you have to go to a disposal site, because you fill the truck up.
That was going to be my next question. 1,000. How many times does he have to run, or she has to run?
Typically 1,000 homes, and then it's really cool. There's a lot of science behind this. So typically your heavier days are Mondays and Tuesdays, weekend. So those heavier days actually will involve the driver to have to go to the dump more often, because you're going to pack out. We call it pack out the truck, or fill up the truck quicker. Thursdays and Fridays somewhat lighter. People are working during the week, so it's not so much stuff happening at the home, right?
Right.
So once you pick up the homes, they go out there, pick up these houses. They go to the nearest disposal site. So we got various sites throughout the county. For instance, in the northwest section of the county, we have a transfer station. It's called Northeast Transfer Station, right off of Miami Gardens Drive and like 6th Avenue, close to 95. And what we do there, these transfer stations are great part of this whole system. What happens is these garbage trucks go dump at these transfer stations, where then later on the garbage is consolidated in larger vehicles like tractor trailers.
Okay.
So the benefit of having this is that you have less garbage trucks on the road.
Okay.
Because if you didn't have that means these trucks have to go a further distance.
Right.
That means you need more garbage trucks on the road. Okay. And we don't need any more traffic.
Right.
In Miami-Dade County. So then once we consolidate the garbage in these larger loads of tractor trailers, we end going to a final disposal site, such as a landfill or a waste to energy facility. Most of the garbage ends up at the waste to energy facility.
Okay.
I don't know if people know that, but we've had this waste to energy facility since the 1980s, and out in Doral, Florida, and we process over 1 million tons of waste there. We actually pull out the metals from the waste on the front end. We actually reduce the waste. We shred the waste into smaller pieces. So we actually reduce it close to 90% of the volume it initially came in. And then we burn it, basically. And once we burn it, we actually produce electricity out of that. Okay. And it powers the same electricity that we're burning with the garbage is generating the power at the plant, as well as sending electricity to the grid and selling it to customer FP&L, as well as City of Homestead. So in a nutshell, that's kind of the dynamics of how it gets to dump. I mean, at the end of the day, once the driver finishes his route, they come back to the yard, check their truck again. We call it post-trip inspection, and then they're done for the day. It's honestly, it's a great job for someone that wants to be by themselves, and that's their office. And you just control. You have your clientele, which is your route, your neighbors. And honestly, a lot of our drivers know exactly what's happening in their neighborhood. I mean, personal stuff. I mean, they build these relationships with the homeowners, their customers, and then the homeowners actually, it becomes almost like a bond between the driver and the neighborhood.
Right. Well, we talk about the fact that the pickup is Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday, Friday. What are they doing in between?
Mondays and Thursdays. So they work a 40-hour work week, 10-hour days.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's 10, 10, 10.
Okay. So that's basically their
right.
days.
So it's a great job because you can have Wednesdays off.
Right.
And the weekends off.
Right.
I mean, you got the day in the middle off, you can run some errands, and then the weekends to yourself.
All right, cool.
It's really nice job.
Didn't know that.
Yep.
So again, when you talk about waste, the other part that happens every couple of weeks is recycle.
Recycling.
Let's talk about that a little bit, because I know there's a lot of I don't know if I want to say misnomer about what is recycled. I'm guilty. I probably throw a little bit of everything I think supposed to go into recycle, but there's some specifics that you're not supposed to be, and some specifics that you should put in there. Talk about recycling.
So recycling is done every 2 weeks, and again, and I just want to illustrate that we don't service the entire county. We service the unincorporated area as well as 10 municipalities. So certain cities do their own thing, but if you're part of our program, you get picked up every 2 weeks. So it's a bi-weekly pickup. It's called single stream recycling. We do outsource that part of the program. It's out to we have 2 vendors, one that picks up in the north and one that picks up in the south. And they go every same kind of concept. They go through. They have a route. They go through the neighborhoods. They pick up the recycling. They take it to a processing facility. So the process facility for recycling is, we call it materials recovery facility, or MRF, and that's also outsourced as well. It's to the private sector. Waste Management runs that facility, but this is where all the recyclables go to, and then they get sorted out. Now, a couple of no-nos that we should not be putting in the recycling bin, or recycling cart, are bags, plastic bag, the famous plastic bags from Publix or the grocery stores. I hope you're not doing that.
No, I don't put those in there. I don't put those in there. That's my trash.
Hey, I won't snitch.
You know,
I won't call you out.
You know, Publix, you know, that has become the convenient trash bag in the house.
A lot of people love it. It's so nice because everybody puts all their plastic and they tie it up.
Right. No, I don't put it out. I actually have a bin, a trash bin on the side. That's my recycle bin. And that's where all the bottles, plastic goes in there.
And you take
and
that
then
out,
I take it out and I dump it inside the blue bin. But the Publix bag is other trash.
They're a nightmare. And you know what it is? And they do have an emblem. It does have the little recycling emblem on it. But really, the best thing to do with those are to take them back to the grocery store. They have typically the bins outside, these containers. You could just throw them in. Right. They'll go ahead and recycle. They're not part of our program. They're a nightmare at our processing facility. They get tied up in these screens, and constantly the workers have to shut down everything to pull these things out. It's like, it's like a vacuum. Imagine a vacuum cleaner just getting the roller, just getting strings, and then you got to pull everything out. Exactly. Wow. Same thing with the bags.
Well, I didn't know that. I'm glad we're saying that, because I'm guilty. I do, like I said, for trash, I put the trash in there and I tie it up and I throw it in the trash.
Right.
So
that's fine.
Oh, that's fine.
The garbage can.
Not the recycle.
Not the recycle.
Okay, so I'm good.
So you're good. So do you like eating pizza?
I love, yeah.
What do you do with your boxes?
Put them in the recycle.
No. Got you there. I got you there. You told on yourself right there. So
pizza boxes.
I walked you into that one.
Yeah.
So the pizza boxes, unfortunately, the grease on the pizza ruins the cardboard fiber in the boxes. So if you've ever tried poking your finger, it gets soft. And what happens is at the recycling facilities, it just breaks. It crumbles up into little pieces. God. It's no good. So we tell people, don't put the pizza boxes and don't put the plastic bags.
Well, I hope you folks are listening, because this is some great education, because I had no idea that you shouldn't put a pizza box, because it's a box, in recycling. So pay attention, folks. Right, Mike, we got to work on a campaign.
We do have a campaign. We do have a campaign, and we could definitely share something together. But it's called the Simple 5.
Right.
Simple 5. So it's the cardboard boxes are okay, except for pizza boxes. Glass, plastics, aluminum cans, and fiber and paper. So you could put all that in there, and generally put household items. We don't, just because, for instance, don't something like a Power Wheels, your child's Power Wheels car, just because it's made out of plastic, don't throw it in the bin. You know, it's not recyclable. Just give it to the Goodwill. You know, donate it to somebody, but don't put it in.
Okay.
We get that. We get pool pumps that because it's plastic.
Wow.
We get trees because they think we can recycle the trees. We get clothing inside the recycling because they think the clothing can be recycled.
Yeah, all right.
No, so just keep it simple. Just household items. You know, the bottles, glass. You know, water bottles, soda bottles.
And a big one that I believe I understand, styrofoam.
Styrofoam's not recyclable.
Right.
Yeah, we don't want that. That thing just, when it hits the machines, it just like snows.
Explodes.
It snows inside the facility.
Okay. Well, but, you know, we're getting down to the last few minutes, and a couple other things I want to talk about is the local, I don't know what you call them, the dumps that you can actually take your cuttings to, and your what do you call that?
So we call those trash and recycling centers,
right,
neighborhood trash and recycling centers. Right. So we got 13 of those throughout the county. They're basically from north to south. And they're great. They're great for the neighborhood. They're open 7 days a week, 10 hours a day. You could take as much as you want. And when I say as much as you want, it's really the materials is bulky, like bulky items. You could, if you're doing maybe some construction at your house, you could bring some of that. I mean, we limit it up to 3 cubic yards, equivalent to like pickup truck size per load. You could come as many times as you want. Some sites do take mattresses. We accept mattresses, their tires, and some e-waste like electronic TVs or electronic.
What they call
waste.
White goods, your refrigerators.
We have white goods as well. And some facilities don't take it, and the reason why they don't take it is because they're small. The space is limited in there. Like I know we have one at Norwood off of 199, and that site, it's very small, very tight.
Right. Well, by me, I'm over in Biscayne Gardens Unincorporated, and I go to the one there off
Golden Glades
Memorial Highway, and I love it.
It's big. It's large. That one's big. It's right next to the park.
Like some days, like you said, I might go there 2 or 3 times a day because I'm out in landscaping and cutting down palm fronds and what have you.
And it's convenient. I mean, you could get rid of it when you want. And So the bulk pickup, everybody's entitled to 2 pickups a year. And on top of the 2 pickups, that's included in your fee that you pay. But on top of the 2 pickups, if you want an additional pickup, you could pay. It's about $25 a cubic yard. So how it works is basically you call in, and now we just changed to a new system. So you can actually make an appointment. So you call in 311 and they'll give you whatever dates are available. So they'll tell you, hey, Eric, we have April 13th available. Would you like to schedule an appointment there? Yes, schedule me. Okay, you could put the stuff out 2 or 3 days before that appointment date. Once that appointment day comes, our trucks come by, pick up the material, the waste, and take it.
Are we limited to anything that goes out there?
So that's a good question. So yes, it's limited to again, vegetation, trash, and same thing where you can take it to the neighborhood trash and recycling centers. Same thing as a limitation. We don't want garbage. You can't be putting garbage in front of your house on the ground. We don't want that. But just limited to that.
Okay. So we talked about bulk. Now I know one of the challenges you have, and I pray and I just thank God we've been blessed not to have a storm. Yeah, I know. I'm saying I shouldn't. Yeah, I know, and I know that's one of your biggest challenges and one of your things you don't look forward to.
No.
But how do you prepare for that?
So we monitor storms closely, and it's almost time. Hurricane season is around the corner. I hate to say it, but we monitor whenever a storm develops on the Atlantic or out there. It could be the Gulf. We monitor closely if it turns into something significant, even a tropical storm and it's coming close. We monitor that. We prepare. We have sites. We have these temporary, we call them debris sites. We activate those just in the event that we're going to have some sort of catastrophic weather here, as well as we make sure like your piles. And that's the other thing. We tell people don't put piles out in front and the storm's approaching,
Right.
those become projectiles at the end of the day. Because the last thing I want is to have our men and women out there in the middle of a storm try and pick this. They have family, they're people too, and I don't want to put them in harm's way. So we want to make sure folks don't put the stuff out. Use the TRCs. Take the stuff to the TRCs if you want, but don't schedule stuff and expect us to then try to pick that up in the middle of a storm.
Right.
So we do prepare for all that, and for instance, during Irma, we had these debris sites throughout the county. We hired contractors to come in and help us collect us, as well as our crews go out there and collect material through on the right of way. But it's really not a fun event, but we are always monitoring that, and we are the lead agency after for recovery after a storm.
Right. You know, I could talk to you for another good half hour. This has been the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce. If you want to get in touch with the Miami-Dade Solid Waste, how can they do that?
Just call 311, and anything they need there, they could definitely help them out with our customer service.
Okay. And if you wanted to know more about the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce, go to www.m-dcc.org or call the chamber at 305-751